folks. Thanks for tuning in to On the Trail of a Nephilim and our daily UFO report. There is a hidden history that has been deliberately obfuscated from the peoples of the world, and that's why we are on the trail. Our lead story today, of course, we're talking about Robert Mirabal, Stiltwalker. You had homework to do. You were supposed to watch the video. I will weigh in on it after a word from our sponsor, Noble Gold. Now, stocks are at an all-time high. The economy is roaring. Houses are selling in a week. Interest rates are at zero. And the government just printed $5 trillion. What could possibly go wrong? Meanwhile, consumer confidence hit a 10-year low. And inflation hit 6.8%, with parts of the U.S. seeing rates as high as 8%. Something's not adding up, folks, is it? So what can you do? You can play it safe. Putting some of your assets into precious metals will keep your money away from the volatility markets and inflation, and let you sleep at night. This month, Noble Gold is giving away a free America the Beautiful solid silver 5-ounce coin with any qualifying plan you start. So talk to an expert at Noble Gold, and they'll run through the options to keep your money safe. Always good to have hard assets, folks. No pressure, no hassling, no call centers. Just a chance to speak to someone who knows what they're talking about for once. How refreshing would that be? Start by calling 877-646-5347. Once again, that number, 877-646-5347, or visit our website at noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Folks, with everything that's going on, I highly recommend it. This is from the book, shameless plug right here. But I think you'll find this interesting, and I'm just going to read it because the thing speaks for itself. I first became familiar with Robert Mirabal's work through a clip I saw on YouTube. I'm not sure who sent me the link, but if the sender is by chance reading this, thanks for sending it my way. Mirabal is a Grammy Award-winning composer and a Native American Pueblo First Nation person. I watched with fascination as the video began and immediately recognized high production values and good camera work. The play, or the telling and reenactment of the old stories handed down orally for generations, was staged outdoors and at night. The lighting of a scene created another world, almost like looking through a window in time of what might have taken place 1,000 years ago. As the narrator off stage began the story, I was transfixed by his words. Now I'll go to the book. And this just amazed me when I first heard this. And this is Robert Mirabal's voice saying it in the film. The link is below. Watch it, please. And a long time ago, they say that there were giants that roamed the land. They came from the sky and fell in love with the sons and daughters of the earth. They had the ability to read your mind and foresee the future. The men would go hunting in the mountains for deer and elk, while the women would make gifts to honor these giants. When I heard this, I was taken aback, because the similarity to the Genesis 6 account, and also what we find in the book of Enoch, was too much to be coincidence, in my opinion. So I read in the book I include, and I will read the Genesis 6 passage. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, B'nai Ha-Elohim, which always refers to the angelic hosts, the sons of God, the B'nai Ha-Elohim, saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives, plural, of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, in the biblical sense, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. So what's amazing here, folks, is the book, another shameless plug, but the counter-move, How the Nephilim Returned After the Flood, talks about this, because there were multiple incursions. Back to the story. In Mirabal Stiltwalker, we hear this. And this book really weighs a lot. When the men would go hunting in the mountains for deer or elk, they would bring gifts to the giants. The actors are Native Americans and are dressed in period regalia. The scene appears as if the viewer has been transported back in time. The women are preparing the gifts, and each of the men is given a gift. The men move slowly and deliberately to the center of the stage, where they kneel and face the audience. Through this entire production, music composed by Mirabal lends itself to this otherworldly tableau. There is a cellist, flautist, and a percussionist creating a musical tapestry, while synthesizers are also used to layer the sound. Voice modulation is used for a great effect, but more on that later. The men are statuesque as they wait in silence. At this point, the audience must be wondering what is about to happen, as there is a sense of anticipation. From out of the wings, we hear a cry that is not quite human. And then we hear the thudding of a deep drum, as if a very large animal, like an elephant, is coming close to where the men are seated in tableau on the stage. Boom, boom. However, it is not an elephant which comes into view, but a giant which slowly comes onto the platform. He is at least 10 feet tall. His face is painted white and black, and his dark black hair hangs to his waist. He raises his head and once again utters what sounds to me like a cry of anguish. This is accomplished through an electronic voice modulator. With every step he takes, the loud boom of the drum is heard. The effect is startling and takes the viewer completely by surprise. He makes his way behind the men who are not moving and waves his large staff over their heads as if blessing them. So there you have it. The first question that ran through my mind, where did this story originate? Why was this being presented here and now in the 21st century? Why the story of sky beings who came to Earth and sired giants? How far back did this story go? Did Robert Mirabal know where it originated? Until the latter part of the 20th century, many anthropologists and archaeologists did not acknowledge the validity of Native American oral accounts. In other words, they discounted these stories because they viewed them as mythos and superstition. However, recently, there's been a shift in this position, and now these stories are being listened to and recorded. I immediately set out to find Robert Mirabal. I Googled his name and a website came up. I then went to the site, found his contact information, called the number, and was a little caught off guard when he answered, but delighted to hear his voice. And I'm going to leave it there because we'll get into tomorrow exactly where he got this from, how this oral tradition was passed down from grandfather to father to grandson, and back even further than that. It's absolutely amazing. Native American oral tradition, as Chief Joseph will tell you, is carefully guarded. There are secrets. The giants did walk the Americas. There is a hidden history which has been deliberately obfuscated for the peoples of the world. That picture behind me proves it. That's the picture we found in Catalina. I won't belabor the point. I've talked about it too many times, but it's there behind me because it's so important. That was a 9-footer. Anyway, folks, if you're interested, and I hope you are, please go to On the Trail of the Nephilim. Rent all 7 of them. We got great deals going on for Christmas right now. Or go to the website, lamarzulli.net. You can stream them by going to streaming.lamarzulli.net or lamarzulli.net to buy the hard copies. So moving right along into our UFO account, swarm of UFOs dart across California sky. Days after pilot records fleet of UFOs flying over the Pacific Ocean. There are the clips. It's just unbelievable. Lights in the sky, orbs flying in formation. Here's the deal, and I'll bring this up. So they've been sort of quiet for a while, right? Now all of a sudden they're back again. Front page news. Oh my gosh. Notice that the Middle East is heating up. Is there a connection? You tell me. Is there a connection? Are we about to see something happen? Here's the deal. Some force is restraining them. What does 2 Thessalonians says? That man of sin will not be revealed until he that restrains is taken out of the way. Something is holding this phenomenon just from completely manifesting at will everywhere. What we see is this cat and mouse game. It's been going on for decades with absolutely no let up in sight. So that was all over the news yesterday. Swarm of UFOs dart across California sky days after pilot records fleet of UFOs flying over Pacific Ocean. And you can see both of those shots. I'm sure John Adam will put them on the screen, which is why, once again, folks, here it is. This is the book, but you can watch the film for free right here on YouTube. Please go and check it out. There is so much information. That's why I released it for free. The house is almost done. Probably early next year, we're going to try to release part 2. We've got everything in the can. I just have not been able to get to it. So thanks so much for watching. On the Trail of a Nephilim. We'll see you once again with another excerpt from the book, On the Trail of a Nephilim, where we'll actually sit down and read that interview that I had with Robert Mirabal. I think you'll find it absolutely fascinating. They know who was here. They know. They know. The giants roamed America. All right, folks, we'll see you on the air or in the air. Thanks so much for watching.